The crystal glass clinked softly as Vanessa Lang, the CFO's wife, leaned across the white linen at the Willow Ridge Country Club. Her diamonds caught the warm light like tiny warnings. "And you are?" she asked, her voice honeyed with practiced superiority. Her eyes slid over me as if I were part of the table setting. "Oh, you're with Ryan. Forgive me, dear. What is it you do to keep yourself busy?" I set down my napkin. "Fingers steady. Finance," I said quietly. The table erupted in polite laughter. One of the vice presidents, a man named Ellis with a too-tight collar, boomed. "Speaking of finance, payroll went through like clockwork this week. Miracle, right? Thanks to the back office folks pushing papers." The laughter rippled again, sharp and excluding. I smiled faintly. The same small mask I had worn for years. At 35, I had become an expert in silence. My name is Sophia Kane. And tonight, amid the soft piano and old money entitlement of Willow Ridge, I decided the silence would end. In Vietnamese culture, we are taught that true strength often lives in endurance, in the long game of patience where you let others expose their own flaws before you strike. Revenge is not loud shouting, it is restoring balance quietly, letting the weight of their choices crush them. That night, as the CEO Marcus Hale raised his scotch for a toast to the team that makes Vanguard Tech Solutions great, his gaze sweeping past me like I was air, I felt the familiar ache of invisibility twist into something sharper. Ryan, my husband, sat beside me, a senior product manager who deserved far better. His shoulders carried the quiet exhaustion of 3 years watching delayed bonuses, reallocated training budgets, and promotions handed out on the golf course to men who laughed at the right jokes. Vanguard preached family culture on posters at their Riverton Heights headquarters. But the reality was betrayal dressed as meritocracy. Good people laid off while executives voted themselves raises. DI slides in every meeting. Yet real investment in people vanished. I had watched Ryan come home defeated too many times. "Maybe I should just quit," he said once. I took his hand. "No. Let them be who they are." He trusted me, even when he didn't understand. That trust was my anchor. My real life existed far from country clubs. I worked at Horizon Financial Services, specifically their subsidiary Corpay Systems, the quiet engine handling outsourced payroll for corporations like Vanguard. I was no Pinterest wife. I had graduated near the top from a top finance program and built complex cash management systems for Fortune 500 clients. 6 months earlier, Vanguard signed with Corpay, lured by an 18% fee reduction. Their legal team skimmed the master agreement. The operational appendices, where the real power lived, were left to me and my team. I held Level 2 authorization. My digital signature was the final gate on their biweekly payroll. Appendix 9B. The anomaly escalation protocol I had helped craft was buried in 50 pages of boilerplate. It allowed a hold if vendor payments showed irregularities, such as undisclosed related party transactions exceeding 2% of monthly operating expenses. The irregularity was there: payments to Oak Grove Advisors, a vague consulting LLC owned through a family trust by Vanessa Lang's brother-in-law. Nepotism wrapped in strategic alignment, invoices always just under approval thresholds. It was classic betrayal, executives enriching family while preaching sacrifice to the rank and file. The week after that first dinner, I worked methodically. I requested independent verification from Corpay's risk team. I engaged legal for a standard notice of inquiry. I met privately with an independent board director, Dr. Lena Torres, known for her no-nonsense analytical style. I showed her the data clean, anonymized, irrefutable. She acted swiftly, forwarding it to the board chairman. I protected the regular employees through Corpay's Employee Shield Fund. Their pay would flow on time from our escrow. insulating them from fallout. The executives' batch would freeze, triggering notifications and buying time for the board review. The following Thursday, the second CEO dinner loomed. Tension simmered inside me like a slow-boiling pot. Vietnamese families know this feeling well. The quiet before restoring harmony by exposing injustice. At exactly 6:58 p.m. From my home office, I activated the hold. Non-executives were shielded. Executives were frozen at 7 p.m. sharp. I arrived at Willow Ridge precisely on time. The printed authorization form folded in my clutch. Appetizers were served. Marcus Hale leaned forward with a patronizing grin. Sophia, right? The Pinterest lady. Laughter followed. Vanessa smirked. I do hope payroll was smooth this week. Financial drama is so common. I set down my water glass with deliberate calm. I slid the envelope across the linen to Marcus. There's a small hold. Actually, he opened it. His face hardened as he read the bolded line, Executive Payroll Pending Board Clearance. His eyes reached the signature, authorized by Sophia Kane. The table froze. Phones began vibrating. Notifications hit. Your scheduled direct deposit is pending due to compliance review. The pianist's hands fell silent. The room's murmur died. Your employees have been paid in full, I said quietly. Voice carrying. The rest of you are on hold until the board certifies no company funds are flowing into the wrong houses. Chaos erupted in controlled panic. Marcus blustered. You don't have the authority. Vanessa hissed. This is extortion. I remained calm. Page 47 of the Corpay Master Service Agreement. Appendix 9B. The clause you signed without reading. My signature is the final gate. I laid out the terms. Immediate board investigation into Oak Grove Advisors. CFO recusal from vendor approvals. Full repayment of improper funds deducted from executive bonuses. Stricter conflict of interest policy. And a 4% cost of living raise for all non-executives funded by reducing the executive bonus pool. The board's independent directors. Already reviewing. Sent confirmation via group chat. Marcus's resistance crumbled. He signed the acceptance resolution. Vanessa's hand shook violently as she followed. I authorized the release at 7:28 p.m. Phones buzzed with relief, then sour understanding as the raise and audit notices arrived. I stood. I don't need you to remember my name. Just remember to read the contracts next time. Outside in the cool rain. Ryan took my hand. Awe and respect in his eyes. A flood of grateful Slack messages from regular employees lit up my phone, people who would never know my name. But who felt the family culture finally meant something. Marcus chased us into the rain. Who are you? He gasped. I pointed to the signature on the resolution he clutched, Sophia Kane. Last week you saw a nobody, I said. Tonight you learn the name of the person who signs your paycheck. We walked away into the cleansing rain. The cost had been high, risk to Ryan's position. My own ethical line crossed, but silence had finally spoken. Balance was restored. In the end, revenge wasn't about destruction. It was about making them see the invisible weight they had ignored for too long.